WRX STI S210. Let's talk about it. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So with Tokyo Auto Salon just finishing up, or wrapping up this past weekend, I've made a little list here of the best and worst cars that we saw. At least in my opinion. Obviously to each their own, and that's what makes our passions for cars beautiful, because everyone likes different. Everyone has different tastes, everyone likes different things. That being said, I've got a list of 5 cars here, 3 of which are the best, I think, and 2 of which are the worst of the Tokyo Auto Show. So let's kick things off with the only concept on this list, the GR Yaris M Sport concept, or M concept. And I'm just going to start off by saying that this car is absolutely mind-blowing. This car just gives off Renault Clio vibes, Renault Turbo vibes, Renault 5 Turbo. Just that sort of old school, wild hatch. Sadly, we're not going to see it into production. But this car was fitted with the new, much anticipated 2-liter turbo from Toyota, making about 400 horsepower. So all the rumors were true. That engine is going to make a ridiculous amount of power. I just can't wait to see it in production cars, to be honest. There's no really... It's only a concept, the car itself, so there's no really clear indication of what Toyota's going to do with it. But a lot of people seem to think it's a hint at the new MR2. People seem to think that it's a test mule, if you will, for a new MR2, which would of course be mid-engine, hence the mid-engine mounting of the Yaris. Hopefully that's the case. I mean, I would love to see an MR2 with the 2-liter turbo, 400 horsepower, probably even more engine. Toyota did say they're gonna race it in the Japanese Super Taikyu series. So hopefully that's gonna help them develop a great platform. Hopefully that's gonna help them develop a great platform for potential MR2, maybe even a Celica. We don't know how or if. We could only assume, and I guess most people do assume that the Celica would most likely be a front-engine car, but the MR2, as the name suggests, would most likely be mid-engine. So hopefully the Yaris gets its job done and gives Toyota something to work with and helps them build a great platform. Next car on the list is the Mazda MX-5 12-hour edition. That's right, there's yet another new special edition of the Miata. However, this one is 200 units, Japan only. I'm a bit sad to see that it's not coming here, considering that it promises to be a world of fun. It promises to be such a fantastic little roadster. As if the normal one and all its other special editions aren't incredible enough already, and fun to drive. This one just builds on it even more, honestly. And well, to be honest, it's almost like a aftermarket build in a that's for sale from the factory. That's the best way that I can think of to put it, honestly. I'm just gonna go off just to read off all the changes, all the improvements on it. I'm just gonna go off the list here. Engine has been tweaked and tuned by Spirit Racing. It includes new cylinder head, new camshafts, new pistons. I believe exhaust valves, intake valve. I forget. It's such a long list. The whole engine has been pretty much redesigned. It now makes nearly 200 horsepower. Not quite, according to the power figures. 197 bhp is what they claim. But from a 2-liter naturally aspirated engine, that seems. I'm assuming it's going to be a rev happy. It just seems like a fantastic, and it seems like it'll just be fantastic to drive. I mean, it suits the car so well. It includes Ray's Volk TE37 wheels, Advan AD09 tires, Brembo brakes, Bilstein dampers, Recaro seats, Fujitsubo exhaust. It's, like I said, it's pretty much an aftermarket build, if you will. Sold to you straight from the factory. I mean, that's 90% of what people that have the car would do. That's probably most likely what I would do, what you would do, and everyone else watching at home. Wheels, exhaust, suspension, whether it be coilovers or just some springs or you name it. More power. That's exactly what a normal owner that likes to drive, to have fun driving, would do. And fair play to Mazda for giving us a ready tuned, ready-made production car, MX-5. So yeah, that being said, moving on. Last but not least, last car on the good list before we get into the bad is the Hyundai Ioniq 5N DK, or Drift King edition. Now, I am definitely not a fan, or not a huge fan, of electric cars. If I'm being honest, I pretty much hate all of them. Those who know me will tell you that I hate electric cars. I don't aspire to own one. I don't aspire to drive one. I don't get excited by one, usually. I am waiting to see the new GTI, if it will be a proper GTI. From all the renderings and concepts I've seen, and the rumors I've heard, it should be a proper electric GTI, which promises to be a very interesting hot hatch. So I'm waiting for that. But other than that, no electric car has really excited me. And I definitely don't think they're fun to drive. Well, until now. Because this new Ioniq, well, first of all, the old Ioniq, also the non-DK edition Ioniq, also seems pretty exciting, if I'm honest. That this is probably the only electric car, like I said, that has somewhat excited me. So the DK edition, developed by, or co-developed with, I should say, the Drift King himself, Keiichi Tsuchiya, if I'm pronouncing that right. If not, I apologize to DK. He helped Hyundai develop this car, and it was his word on, he had the final word on changes and alterations and such that should be made. So this car, some of the changes include 21-inch, yes, that's right, 21. That is huge, in my opinion. But he's the Drift King, not me. 21-inch forged wheels, shaving off 10 kilograms. Not pounds, kilograms. That's nearly 20 pounds. That's over 20 pounds, actually, of unsprung weight. H&R, specially designed also. H&R lowering springs, designed to work with the electronic dampening in this car. 6-piston monoblock calipers. Big, huge 6-piston fixed monoblock calipers. Functional aero, according to Hyundai. Everything in the car is 100% functional. It's not just for show. Front splitters, side skirts, big wing in the back, which I must say looks good. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I like it. And I do believe a diffuser. I'm not 100% sure in that. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, everything should be functional. The car is a great, with all the mods on it, is a great looking car, if I'm being honest. The normal one is a pretty good looking car, but the DK edition with the wing and the brakes and the wheels and all the aero is a good looking car. Whether it will be fun to drive or not, I can't tell you, but I can definitely tell you it's a good looking car. Again, it's a Japan, well, not Japan only, it's Japan and South Korea only, as of now, confirmed for Japan and South Korea. I don't know if it will be a limited number of cars being produced, and also as of now, we have no word on whether there's going to be any more power. I don't think so, and whether there's anything. Not that the car. Let me just mention. Not like the car doesn't already have more than enough power. It makes, what, 640 horsepower? Something like that. And also no word yet on whether there's any changes in the behavior of the electric motors and the torque vectoring systems, whatever they have going on. I'm not familiar with the car and its all-wheel drive system and all that. I don't know if they will reprogram it or retune it, whatever, to make it more oversteer happy, tail happy. All that is still yet to be confirmed, but yeah, we do know as of right now is not coming to the US. Well, that being said, let's move on to the bad, or the worst, in my opinion, from the show. I'm gonna start off with the Honda Civic Type R Racing Black package, Racing Black Edition, whatever the name was. It was a weird. It's for what the car is a name is. The name definitely does not suit it. When I first heard about it, I expected it to be some wild, stripped out track car with probably more power and bigger brakes and then all the good stuff. Think of the GR Morizo edition, if you will. However, boy was I disappointed when I saw what it actually is. With the name like that, all it is this black interior. You know how the Type R comes with only red seats and red interior? Well, this is just a package that comes with black upholstery, some Alcantara on the dash and steering wheel, I believe. And that's pretty much it. There's no hardware changes, there's no power changes, there's nothing else. Nothing else. It's just disappointing, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, also not coming to the US as of now. It's only for Japan. And I'm fine with that, honestly. I couldn't care less. I'm pretty sure most people couldn't care less. Given that, depending on the color of the car, the red might or might not go along with it. You know, it might not. I like it, but you know, the blue with the red inside might not be everyone's cup of tea. So it makes sense to introduce it here, but I don't understand why they just can't call it just some sort of trim level. I don't know, or just option it without calling it anything. Just let people tick off boxes, you know, red or black. But calling it a racing black package, I mean, when you hear Honda Civic Type R black, when you hear the name, you think of like an AMG Black Series or something of that nature. Like you expect it to be more wild and out of the ordinary than just seats. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have on the car. There's not really much to say about it other than it's very disappointing. Moving on, the final car on this list. I'm probably gonna get some hate for this, but WRX STI S210. Let's talk about it. Disappointing. Subaru finally released an STI that everyone was asking for, but it's completely not the STI that everyone was asking for. I mean, first of all, it's limited. It's Japan only. Let's start with that. It's 500 units, so it's going to be a very limited, therefore very expensive car. We got to talk about the elephant in the room. Sorry, before I mention other things, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. The CVT transmission. They took away the whole identity of an STI, the manual transmission. Every STI that I'm aware of ever has been manual only. Maybe the special editions, I'm not very familiar with them. The S207, S209, I'm not sure if they have some automatics or not. Someone can correct me, but as far as I'm aware, every STI has always been manual only. And that's what the people want. That's what we want as enthusiasts, as the buyers of the car, the enjoyers of the car. That's what we want. We couldn't care less about, I shaved 2 seconds off of, or 1 second, or half a second off of a lap time around so-and-so track, such and such track. We don't care. Even if we do track our cars. I mean, how often do people buy that car to, yes, people do race it, but the people that race it swap the transmission most of the time. The people that competitively race the car run sequentials and that sort of stuff, and dog boxes and whatnot. 99% of Subaru's clients buy the car to enjoy it on the street, on the way to work, on the weekends in the canyons. We just want an engaging, fun to drive car. We don't want some boring CVT. No, and honestly, the problem is not that it's automatic, because they could have fitted it with at least a dual clutch, and I personally, I mean, I don't mind them. I'm not the biggest fan of dual clutches, but they are fantastic for if you're looking for performance on and off the track. Dual clutch is the way to go. I don't want to say I couldn't care less about it. I probably wouldn't, given the choice, I probably wouldn't go for a DSG for any car. If I was buying a Golf R, I would go for the manual, for example. Not the DSG version. But at least give people the choice of a manual. Build half of them, build a third of them in manual. All right, keep it CVT, but give people the choice to get a manual. Like it just feels weird. I don't know. It just feels weird to say that the car is CVT transmission. Even just to read that on the paper feels weird. When you think of a Subaru STI, you think of three things: turbo boxer, manual transmission, all-wheel drive. It's the whole DNA. It's the whole identity of the car. It's one of the best performance cars ever made. Honestly, all of the generations of it. So yeah, and that's why people enjoy it for the fun that it brings. You know, driving it. So and the engagement that it brings you with the manual transmission. So yeah, that's very disappointing, at least to me. I'm sure it's not. I'm not the only one. But enough ranting. Let's talk about the rest of the changes or upgrades, or I don't even know what to call them. It has Recaro bucket seats, which I must say are quite beautiful, but they chose the absolutely worst, most wrong car to put those seats on. Those seats are beautiful. I'm sure everyone would love to have those seats in their car. The seats are amazing, or at least they look amazing. I'm not sure how comfortable they would be. The seats are amazing, and I'm sure 90% of the people would love to have them. But it's a disappointment seeing them in that car. And also, the big thing, it does not make any more power. It does not even make 300 horsepower. From a 2.4 liter turbocharged engine, you could make 300 horsepower from a K24 naturally aspirated 2.4 liter engine. You know what makes 300 horsepower? The old STI from 2015, from 10 years ago. That made 300 horsepower. You know what else makes 300 horsepower? The GR Corolla, which I'm sitting in right now, with 2/3 less of displacement. Well, 1/3 less displacement, 2/3 the displacement of the STI. That makes 300 horsepower. The Type R makes 300 horsepower, well over that. The Golf R makes 300 horsepower. The GR Yaris now makes 300 horsepower. All of these are non-limited edition cars that would be much cheaper than a special edition 500 unit car, which would be very expensive. And, well, ironically, you know what else doesn't make 300 horsepower? The WRX, the normal one. So I don't know what Subaru or what STI were thinking with this car, but it definitely is disappointing. It definitely is disappointing. I mean, even the normal WRX, going off topic here, off of away from the topic of the auto salon in Tokyo, even the normal WRX has been underwhelming, underexciting, bland for me, and for I know a lot more people that are disappointed. I mean, you're driving down the road and you see a STI, and any generation, you see a Hawkeye, you see a Blobeye, you see a Hatch STI, you see the 2015 STI, any generation, you get excited just seeing that car, you know, driving down the road next to you or away from you or by you. You hear the Subaru rumble. It's just seeing the new WRX. It's just, you see it driving down the road and you're just thinking, meh, most likely CVT. It's just underwhelming. I think the death of the Evo is the main cause for Subaru's down for STI's downfall, if I'm being honest, for the WRX and STI's downfall, or downgrade. At least they're still around, they're still being produced, but definitely not what they used to be. It just doesn't get you excited, does it? Not to mention how ugly the normal WRX is. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get hate for this. Write it in the comments. Hate me all you want, but it's not a good looking car, and those plastic fenders or plastic pieces on the fenders don't help. Color matched, they are somewhat alright, but yeah. Well, that being said, thank you guys very much for watching, and let me know in the comments what cars excited you and what cars disappointed you from the auto salon in Tokyo. Whether it was concepts, one-off builds, production cars, you name it. I would love to hear what you guys thought about some of the cars there. And as always, a like and a follow is much appreciated. Those who did stay until the end of this video, thank you guys very much. Have a good one.